You are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge.
What's up, homie?
You can't handle the truth.
Pay that man his money.
Never say never, but never.
Let's go.
Drop it off to y'all if my homies call.
Pittsburgh Steeler fans, Baltimore Raven fans, Cincinnati Bengals fans, and of course, the lucky elves of Cleveland. It's Friday, January 16th. Me, your boy Pay, my cuz Tate. And unfortunately, B Dirt's not here. He's still on the booster trail right now. He's out there trying to raise funds, not NIL funds for University of Michigan. He's trying to raise funds to buy out Zach Taylor out of his contract for the Cincinnati Bengals. So
and he's going in intercontinental to do it.
Got to. It's how Mike Brown is with the Bengals, man. He's not spending another penny that he don't have to spend. Big B is out there trying to get every dollar necessary so he can jump into this coaching pool too. Because who wants to be outside the pool when everybody else is having fun in the pool? So just like baseball playoffs, we got another bullpen game. Calling up our hard throwing lefty, Damian Tate. What's the word, my boy?
What's going on, Pay? Kevin, thanks for having me.
Thanks for filling in for B Dirt. You filled in for Pay last week. B Dirt this week. I seen Tim Lyons out there in the chat. Tim, I inquired about you, I think a week or two ago, filling in for B Dirt for some. He said you've been working a lot of overtime, so that's why I hadn't been in touch with you. But here we are, though.
That's right. Well, speaking of bullpen games, I had the homie Tim Lyons working at the pen yesterday. So you can't throw those hard throwing relievers out there 2 days in a row. That's how you burn them out. So he's got to take a rest day. Damian, thanks for showing up. Thanks for showing up. So we do have some football news to talk about as it relates to the AFC North, even though there's no games. I don't know if you all heard, but the Browns, the Ravens, and the Steelers are going to have a new era starting for the 2026 season. And I think because it is, I want to say, the most popular coach in the AFC, not just the North, but the AFC, maybe in the whole league, maybe this side of Andy Reid, Mike Tomlin, almost 2 decades worth of excellence, right? It's a new era starting. Yeah, I would agree with you. I know there's a lot of talk about should this have happened sooner or there's even people talking about some behind the scenes controversy surrounding Mike Tomlin. But before we get into any of that, I want to give him his platitudes. I want to give a man his flowers. 19 years on one of, I think, maybe 3 head coaches all time, even before the Super Bowl era, that's never had a losing record. He never had any controversy surrounding him, maybe with his team, but not with him. He's been all class, been great with the media, been great as a soundbite, and he's embodied what the Steelers would want. Remember when the Steelers were hiring him? Remember when they were moving on from Cowher and they were looking for a new head coach? The offer, he went to go see the Miami Dolphins first, and the Miami Dolphins told him, he's too hip-hop, can't hire that guy. And the Steelers were rewarded for it. The Steelers are a better organization for having Mike Tomlin. But Tate, tell us what you think about the Mike Tomlin era. Encapsulate that for us.
Yeah, man. Real quick, I thank Coach Tomlin for his 19 years, for being a quality coach, one of the best coaches in the NFL, for 19 seasons, making the playoff, 13 seasons, whether the last 7 trips he won a game or not. I saw a video, a short by a Jets fan today. He was talking to Steeler fans. He said, Steeler fans, man, y'all crying about making the playoffs? I'm a Jets fan. And they're like, and just dropped the mic, right? But I guess the standard is different in Pittsburgh than it is for the New York Jets. But yeah, man, it is the end of an era. I'm not one to say that it's not time for a change. And sometimes a new voice can bring about different results, just a different direction, even. You know what I mean? So this coaching search and coaching, I guess it's a search, and the different guys coming in, interviewing and stuff is exciting. It's exciting for new Steeler football. I think there'll be a lot of turnover on the team. I would just, Mike Tomlin step. That was my biggest thing. I didn't feel like you could fire Mike Tomlin for his dedication, his service, his squeaky clean record, the way he was a motivator and leader of men. I think that was critical, and that's how he kept his job so long. I mean, a new guy coming in, hopefully he has those qualities that I saw Bill Cowher and Mike Tomlin have. Chuck Noll, I was like a junior or senior in high school when Chuck Noll retired. Steeler fans, but you think about it, I was a little kid when the Steelers, the Steel Curtain glory days. My biggest memory of Chuck Noll was on the downfall. I remember they made the AFC Championship game, I believe, in '87 against Miami Dolphins. Dan Marino, we lost that. That's the best I saw and remember Chuck Noll doing. I guess I remember winning the Super Bowl because, like I've said before, my first game I remember was the Rams versus Steelers Super Bowl. That was the '79 season. The Super Bowl was played in '80. But yeah, man, shout out to Mike Tomlin. His players respected him, admired him, wanted to play for him. It's being reported by Mike DeFable of The Athletic in an article that guys were really emotional. TJ Watt was like, no. TJ Watt didn't want to hear it. I heard Joey Porter Jr. was crying. And it's been a lot of flowers given on social media and stuff like that. There's some bogus negative story out there. I won't even get into the details of the story. Let's just say, like, a guy named 47 would say that's fake news. So, don't believe in it. A guy been squeaky clean for 19 years, and all of a sudden when he leaves his job, now here comes some speculation and rumor. But thanks, Mike Tomlin. Great coach for a lot of years. Time for the Steelers to go in a new direction. I'm a Steelers fan and Mike Tomlin admire. And that's big when you say I'm an admirer of Mike Tomlin, because I respect everybody. But Mike Tomlin is my peer. Mike Tomlin is 6 months older than me. So for me to say I admire a man that I look like as a peer, same age as me, that's big. Shout out, Coach. Thanks for everything you did. Your players, thank you. The organizations, thank you. And the city of Pittsburgh, thank you, even though probably it's time to turn the page.
Tate, as the other Tate. From the outside looking in, as not as a fan of the Steelers, but as a fan of the other team in Pennsylvania, what did Mike Tomlin's, I guess, coaching era mean to you?
Well, for me, he was on the outside looking in. He carried on, because we all know about the Pittsburgh tradition, and he carried that on. He was not the. They didn't think he was the front runner when he was like I won't call him a dark horse, but nobody knew he was going to be this high. He carried on that tradition, of lunch pail. Take your lunch pail to work. Have your hard hat on. You come in. You play physical. The X's and O's can be made very simple if you were the more physical person, and you won your one-on-one battles, and just that tough philosophy that he brought in. He was you could tell he was like Kevin said, he's the leader of men. He was a coach. He was a coach men wanted to play for. His peers never had, his other coaches, nobody ever had anything to say negative about how he conducted himself. In fact, I think the very first thing I ever heard negative as far as how Mike Tomlin ran his house was when Aaron Rodgers said this past season that players weren't going to meetings. One thing I don't think I've heard talked about when it comes to him being a leader of men and things like that is but it stands out to me is the job that he did during the years when all the controversy was going on during the flag kneeling with Kaepernick and how he didn't make popular decisions, especially amongst people in the black culture, with how he handled it for the Pittsburgh Steelers, but he always did what was best and what was in the best interest of the Pittsburgh Steelers, which consistency. And I mean, and that's what he got. And I really think that consistency, he was really like a victim of his own success. Because he came out and was so successful early, because he consistently won, because he carried on that tradition like the fans wanted the coach to do, that because of where he was kind of at, as far as, you're never winning enough to win it all. You're not losing enough in order to be able to really get the talent that you need in order to really make a championship run in the future, and was just kind of being right there. Like I said, it was consistent, and it really shocked me when the fans was yelling "Fire Tomlin" of all people. And this is a team with a winning record at the time. This team finished 10-7, 10-8, and they're hollering "Fire Tomlin." That surprised me. Pittsburgh, I hope not, because I am a fan. But objectively speaking, and seeing how this thing kind of plays out, depending on who they hire as coach or whatever, uh, I really feel for the next couple of years, you might lose a little bit of that consistency that has been such a fabric of Pittsburgh for the last, say, 40 years.
Yeah.
With
Hey,
let's
Paige,
say was
can I ask Damon
go
a
ahead.
question real quick? Because he actually went through Andy Reid getting fired from Philadelphia. How did you feel about that when that happened?
I was mad at the Eagles. I felt like just the same way as I feel about Tomlin. I feel like Andy Reid was owed at least one more season. Yes, we had the dream team, the expectations was high, and we fell way short. Andy Reid, that was his 13th season at the time with us, four NFC championships, four straight. We went to the Super Bowl, even though we lost. Just that same pillar of consistency that Mike Tomlin delivered to the Pittsburgh Steelers. But our fan base is very similar. I guess it's the Pennsylvanians in them, because we boo Santa. So uh, and we went, and fortunately for us, we did get the right guy. So we didn't have more than what, 2 years, 3 years to where we were playing mediocre football before we made our championship run. So yeah, I think it's a cutthroat business though. And teams let it go. That's why to this day I still root for Andy Reid, because I feel like he was done so wrong. And I can't argue the decision because we've had a lot of success. We probably have had the second most success to Andy Reid during that time frame. So outside of the
But
Patriots.
key word, second most success to Andy Reid. Y'all got 2 Super Bowls. He got 3, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Oh yeah, to Andy Reid. Good for Andy Reid.
With that said, I think the bridge was already laid out there from you, Damian. Was it time for the Steelers to move on from Tomlin, or was it late?
Me personally, as a head coach, when you are a leader of men, I don't think it's time. I think if nothing else, kind of like how we need to approach in Philly, when it comes to hiring our offensive coordinator. And I'm rooting for Mike Miller, by the way. Um, but um, GM, general manager, do your job. The offense is stagnant. It's not doing right. Fine. We're gonna get you an offensive coordinator that we know can really open the game up. We're gonna get a defensive coordinator that's gonna get more if we don't think you can. Now it might be insulting to the coach, but Mike Tomlin's strength was he was a leader of men. And when you've got that, when you've got somebody that inspires people like he does, you change coordinators, you can schematically do different with the X's and O's and stuff. But um, Mike Tomlin set a culture. He set a tone, and there's a lot of coaches that don't do that, and a lot of the ones that got fired for that very reason this year.
Tate, I was listening earlier to I don't even remember what Steel Curtain show it was, but after a while, there's so many of them, they start to run together after a minute. I know what you all are. There's different opinions of where you all should go now as far as the head coach. So that's not really what I want to ask. I want to ask, what's next for Mike Tomlin? Do you think that he should be a TV personality? Should he get back into the coaching, I guess, circle? Or and do you think he's a Hall of Famer if he doesn't coach again?
I'll take the latter question first. Definitely Hall of Famer. He's 53 years old right now. He just turned 50. No, he turns 54 in March. 53 years old right now, and he's already tied for 10th. I guess that would be 9th or 10th in wins all time right now. 19 years, 13 playoff appearance, 8 division titles. That's winning the AFC North about 40% of the time, I'd say, if my quick math is good. So I think he's definitely Hall of Famer. I think what's next is whatever Mike Tomlin wants to do. He can go to TV. He can sit out this year. He can pull a Sean Payton. I tell you what, though, he just was on Rich Eisner's podcast a couple of weeks ago, not even 2 weeks ago yet. And he said football's in his blood. He loves the game still. I mean, I think he stepped down because of Pittsburgh. And I think he heard some of the noise. And I don't know if he didn't feel appreciated or not, but, you know, he had every right to step down when he was ready, and that's what he did. And that's the only thing I asked for. Like Damien said, he felt Andy Reid deserved another year. I mean, so I'm in that boat. I mean, I'm not mad at change. I hope we get a good coach. I hope he's another 15, 20-year coach. But Mike Tomlin, if he does come back and coach again, which I think he will, even though some of the talk is he doesn't necessarily want to. But I think after a year or two at the most out, he'll come back and coach again. And whoever that team is going to be my second favorite team. I'm sorry, Damien. Right now, I root for the Eagles, my second team I root for. But that's going to be whoever Mike Tomlin's team is next, even if it's the Cleveland Browns.
Damien, what about you? Do you want to see him coach again, or would you prefer to see him doing something else like TV?
When it comes to TV, I don't know. You know, I'd have to really just see how he is, how his delivery is. You know, you just won't know until that time comes. Because I personally didn't think Sean Payton was that great on when he was on TV for his year off. I think I'd like to see him
suspension for his. Well, no, he was off because he got fired, didn't he? Yeah, my bad. That was something totally different.
Did he get fired? I thought Denver had to give up.
He got traded.
Yeah, trade. Okay, yeah. But it was a year between.
He sat out a year because Denver had just signed to like a 4-year contract, which is why I think their compensation Denver got back the Saints got back from Denver was so high because Peyton was under contract already. See, Tomlin has 1 year left on his contract. I don't know if the Steelers get as much in compensation if it happened like that, they were to trade him because Peyton had like 4 years on his contract.
Okay.
I don't know. Like I said, really, whatever he chooses to do, I would like to see him stay away from coaching for at least a year just to recharge his battery. Because it's one thing I think we take for granted as fans who all work 9-to-5 jobs is that we work and then we go home and most of us don't think about work when we're not at home. For a coach, especially at that level to which he did his job, it's a 24-hour job, 7 days a week. It comes before your family. It comes before your children. It comes before everything. You're just consumed with it. So taking some time, taking a significant amount of time off to recharge his battery, not look through the lens of being a coach and popping in this video to scout the next team or to see tendencies that just all a part of the job that's probably that takes place outside of actually reporting to working at the stadium. Give him some time to just really, really find him once again.
I'm different, man. I think he would be fantastic on TV. He's always got sound bites. He will be great.
I do too. I agree with you. That's why he's so highly sought after in the TV world.
Oh, he would get. They would have to pay him a lot, and I don't even want him to be like a pregame guy. I don't want him to be in the studio with, I guess, taking Matt Ryan's job. I don't want to do that. I want him to be calling games, like doing analysis. I think he would be great at that. So if he's done being a coach,
I was going to ask you, Pay, we know the NFL networks, right? You got Aikman on ESPN with Joe Buck. You got Collinsworth on NBC with Tirico. You got Brady with Kevin Burkhardt on Fox. And CBS is Tony Romo and Jim Nantz.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess you got Prime, Kirk Herbstreit. Could he fill Kirk Herbstreit and sit down with Al Michaels?
Yeah, Kirk Herbstreit don't know what he's talking about as far as the NFL. He can get out of here. He can get out of here. And Tony Romo, CBS is about sick of him too. So, hey, if Tomlin say, you know what, I want to call games, those would be the first two to be like, hey, we got a spot for you.
But can you imagine the super panel it would look like for the pregame show with both Bill Cowher and Tomlin sitting next to each other?
Oh man, that would be something though. You make a good point there, Damien. Elsewhere, Pittsburgh's neighbors are also in the same predicament where they're starting a new era. The Baltimore Ravens, they got sent to the offseason early by the same Pittsburgh Steelers. And what? I don't think it was even 24 hours later. They dismissed Harbaugh.
It happened on Tuesday. Everybody else got Black Monday. Harbaugh last till Tuesday.
Oh, okay. So they had a formal chat, and they say, all right, we're going to fire you. So it wasn't in the same vein, even though they had their careers scored a mirror in a sense, Tomlin and Harbaugh. But the opposite happened in Baltimore. He got fired, and from my opinion, it wasn't as hard. Just based on some of the things that's happened this week since the firing, it wasn't as harmonious as it was in Pittsburgh. Do you all think that there was I guess the better way to ask this question is, do you all think that there was an issue with the direction of the Baltimore Ravens as far as where Harbaugh thought the team was going and where the team wanted to go? Damon?
Oh, okay. I think the main rift is that there was a disconnect between Harbaugh and Jackson. And I mean, in a nutshell, just as the saying is the case with my Eagles, winning covers a lot of dirty laundry, we'll say. And Baltimore, they came out the gate 1-5. Jackson was hurt. There are certain expectations, even when you're hurt, that people have of you, especially when you're the star player. And for reports to get leaked out like it did about Jackson falling asleep and not attending meetings and not being held accountable by Harbaugh, which I understand because I believe in Jimmy Johnson. You treat your stars different than you do a role player. But the writing was on the wall when Jackson had the post game interview, and they asked him, was he ready to have another run with Harbaugh, and he wouldn't confirm that he wanted it with Harbaugh. That's when you do the writing was on the wall, because in this day and age, because for real, even though Mike Tomlin got a lot of the scrutiny and a lot of the being on the hot seat, Harbaugh was equally on that hot seat. It's just, I guess Mike Tomlin was in front of him as far as like everybody talking about it and bringing it up all the time. Go ahead, sorry.
No, I want to ask both y'all a question real quick. So Jim Harbaugh, and he actually was fired via phone. Steve Biscotti called him after he left the building and fired him over the phone while Harbaugh's in between leaving the building and headed home. So that was disrespect for what Harbaugh done for that franchise. Pay, you said their resumes kind of mirror each other. Harbaugh was a year behind Tomlin, but did Harbaugh only make one Super Bowl, right? He won one, but he only made one.
They both 1-1.
No, they did. He made two.
They both 1-1. They both 1-1 in the Super Bowl.
Who did he lose to? He beat his brother. Who did he lose to?
Brother, and the other one. No, that was actually.
You might be right. That was beforehand.
Brian Billick was the other.
Yeah, that was Billick.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so he only went to one Super Bowl.
Yeah, he only went to one.
So my question is based off that. The last 8 years he had Lamar Jackson. They had 3 playoff wins. Tomlin lost the last 2 games with Big Ben. That biggest one to me was upset against Jacksonville, the first one. Then they got blew out by the Browns in the COVID year. That was Ben's last. And Ben lost to Patrick Mahomes. So Ben lost 3 of the 7 as quarterback. But the other ones, now I would say Harbaugh underachieved with should be 3-time MVP Lamar Jackson, where Tomlin dealing with the quarterbacks he deal with. And I question people all the time, what does Russell Wilson, Justin Fields do this year? What did Kenny Pickett and where Mr. Trubisky at right now? I mean, this guy is helping carry these teams to the playoffs with mediocre quarterback play. And Jim Harbaugh is not getting, well, he's getting to the playoffs and being one and done or only winning 1 game in 3 games, Lamar Jackson's 8 years. So what do you guys think about that? Did Harbaugh underachieve more than Tomlin?
Yeah, so that's a 2-part question. There's a couple of things that result in a loss of job. There's mergers, new ownership. I guess that's kind of the same thing. There's ineptitude, and there's failing to meet those expectations that's set for you, right? And I think we all understand Harbaugh is the latter. He didn't have those expectations. And when you have a Lamar Jackson as your quarterback, those expectations only get higher. Even after 18 seasons, that's extremely long for football marriage. That's long for any type of marriage in this day and age. But when you have those expectations, the Ravens, I feel like they understand that they got to strike where the iron's hot, and the iron is Lamar Jackson. Lamars don't grow on trees. Coaches do. You can get another one of them. And based on everything that's happened, like you pointed out, him getting fired over the phone, but Scotty saying what he said in that press conference, like, yeah, if they'd have won that game, it was just going to last another week and he got fired after that. Him getting hired by the Giants and then bringing in Todd Monken to be his OC there too. That just, all of that tells me, and this is me speculating, but I feel like this is more so than just a guess. I think this is an informed opinion that there was a schism in that building, and John Harbaugh and his coaching staffs, they lost the battle. And the team, which is, I guess, rightfully so, based on whoever you ask, they chose Lamar, and that wins out. Now, as far as Mike Tomlin and where he rests with those quarterbacks that he had, Mike Tomlin was a prisoner of his own creation. They were never bad enough to fix the quarterback issue that they had in the draft, but never good enough to actually get over that hump. You know what I'm saying? So you're stuck in that kind of
they're that 45 win NBA team.
They're the Bulls. So that's kind of where you get it with that. Now, yes, you had Russell Wilson, which I think a lot of people was able to say, like, yeah, that guy's washed. Don't even go down that path. You had Justin Fields. Like, I don't know. He could be a franchise quarterback. Maybe not. You had Kenny Pickett. You had the last embers of Ben Roethlisberger's career. Then you had that last guy who, in my opinion, got him fired. But that's a topic for another day. But the
disrespect to Aaron Rodgers from a Bears fan. Go ahead.
Well, can I ask you one question, Kevin? Being a Pittsburgh insider like you are, how much influence did Mike Tomlin have in choosing the quarterbacks over the last 7 years?
I think he was big because, like Pace said, they weren't in a position to do so. I mean, but he was, I believe, big in bringing Justin Fields and Aaron Rodgers. I mean, old guys, nobody really wanted. It wasn't a market for him. He just said this got to be better than Duck Hodges or Mason Rudolph. See what I'm saying? He saw the talent in Justin Fields because he's a true believer in quarterback mobility. If you look at it, Justin Fields was 4-2 as a Steelers starter. He probably should never went to Russ, but you see what Justin Fields went to the Jets and did last year, and you see what Aaron Rodgers did with the Jets last year, what he did with the Steelers this year. So look at those two things right there. Trading places. Eddie Murphy, Dan Aykroyd.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He definitely has some sway on those quarterbacks that he brought in, which doesn't excuse him from the results that those quarterbacks brought. So again, you give him all the credit in the world for being able to still get 9, 10, 11 wins with those guys. But as he famously said, the standard is the standard. And the standard isn't just 10, 11 wins. So here we are with that. The other head coaching vacancy.
Hey, go ahead and read Claude's super chat. Okay.
Thanks a lot, Claude, for the $2. How do you feel about Tomlin not doing an exit PC? I don't care about that. Tate, you got a thoughts?
He's not doing an exit press conference. I mean, I guess there's really no precedence, right? I mean, Chuck Noll did his 30 years ago. Bill Cowher did his 20 years ago. I mean, if Tomlin don't want to speak to the media, I mean, he was consistent with his Tomlin too. I don't have a problem with it. Yeah, I really don't care. I mean, I look at his last press conference was when they lost the game. He was there for that. He looked emotional to me then. I mean, and yeah, so I mean, what's he gonna answer? What's he gonna answer that we don't already know or already think? And I think that's like y'all watch Game of Thrones. Well, what's that when they took the queen and drug her through the street and stuff like that? Remember that scene?
Yeah.
Do you remember that, Pay?
Shame.
Yeah, exactly. I guess
attrition.
Yeah, I guess Steeler fans still want another pound of flesh.
And that's really all that I think what you're hoping for out of that is even, and if you know Mike Tomlin, it's never going to get to that. Would he spill some tea that people don't know about in the exit interview since, well, there'd be no repercussions or anything like that. But, he's better than that. So it doesn't surprise me at all that he didn't do an exit interview. To me, it goes right in line with his character.
Well, not exit press conference.
Personality.
Yeah.
There's one more job opening in the division. Kevin Stefanski. We ain't got to talk about what the Browns going to do next. We know they're going to do something stupid. But where do you think Kevin Stefanski is going to end up? We know he's going to get another head coaching job this head coaching cycle. But what do you think is the best opening for him?
I hear Atlanta's real hot right now for him.
Mm-hmm. I think that would be a great spot for them. I think Atlanta would be. I think Atlanta. The best thing Atlanta could do this offseason is hire Kevin Stefanski. Now, yes, Kevin Stefanski, he was the coach for a terrible franchise, and a lot of times, if the coach can be as good as anybody, he can be as good as whoever you believe the greatest coach in the world is. But if the front office is kneecapping you, you're not going to have too many. You're not going to have much success. And the kneecap in Cleveland, Deshaun Watson, you couldn't do nothing after you did that, and he had that type of contract situation going on. I think Kevin Stefanski is a decent coach. I don't think he's terrible. I don't think he's the greatest in the world. But you don't win 2 Coach of the Year awards as a Cleveland head coach and be terrible. So I don't think Atlanta's going to be great next season because they've got the worst. They've got the worst quarterback room out of all the available jobs, and their front office is kind of a shit show too. But that's why they brought in Matt Ryan and they got rid of the GM. Yeah, bringing in Matt Ryan, that's gonna the author of 28-3. That really changes things for me. But I think if Atlanta was to bring in Stefanski, I think that would be. That's a good move for them. I agree. Any other spots that you would think other than Atlanta? Because I've heard the same thing that Atlanta's zeroing in on him. You think there's any other openings that would be decent for Stefanski? Well,
maybe the Raiders get Mendoza. You got Brock Bowers. You got Ashton Genty. You still got Max Crosby on defense. Maybe the Raiders. I just want to say real quick, as it stood all these teams interview a lot of people. It sounded like yesterday we prepared what we was going to talk about for this show. Sound like Chris Shula was a favorite in Pittsburgh, even though it's a lot of stuff to go. I'm just talking about to the minute. Mike McDaniel in Cleveland, like Pay said, some stupid, and
I want Mike
Minter
McDaniel
as your offensive coordinator, not as your head coach.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I would be very surprised. I would be very surprised if Mike McDaniel gets another head
The
coaching
Browns
job
are
this
talking
year.
to him. He's the front runner. But as of now, no decisions
hey,
made.
let's hear your soundbite again. Something stupid.
Something stupid. That's
But
what
yeah,
that's their brand. That's their brand.
And Mentor, the Chargers defensive coordinator in Baltimore, who's connected to both Harbaughs. I could see him potentially getting that job. Defensive minded still. And I think just to be in the North, unless you got Joe Burrow, I think the Browns, the Steelers, most of their candidates they have called for interviews and stuff, or I believe like 6 or 7 out of 9 are young defensive coordinators. I think that's just the culture, the identity of the team, the history of the team. I think you got to kind of lead that direction. We're not going to be a spread run and shoot team. Even though a good offensive coordinator is good, I think it needs to be a culture tone setting guy that's tough minded and keep that Pittsburgh identity. But if we're done with the coaches, man, I'm gonna go to the break, Pay. Then we can come back and talk about the game.
Let's go.
If you're watching on YouTube, stay with us. We're not going anywhere. If you're listening on audio platform, we have to hear a few words from our partners and advertisers, and we'll be right back after this short break.
They're here.
Welcome back.
Pittsburgh Steelers fans, Cleveland Browns fans, Cincinnati Bengals fans, and those Baltimore Ravens fans. We are back with the Homies Friday at wherever you're getting this show, whether that's Steel Curtain Network, Know It Alls, or anywhere else where that is being broadcast. Thank you for showing up. Fellas, there is some playoff games that we want to talk about. What was the do you have your records from last week? Your picks?
I don't have, but you mean the ones we pick would be dirt?
Yeah.
Yeah, you never submitted yours.
Nah, because you know what? When you move the show up earlier in the day, because that's usually the time I'm doing all my research to make picks. So I was like, the show's already done. Yeah, whatever. I'll just sit out that week. But let's talk about this first game. Saturday, we got the Broncos at the Bills. So, Damian, you a big Bo Nix guy? You know about that Bo Nix?
I'm not a big fan of Bo Nix, but he has been leading the ship combined with Sean Payton. He's in his second year, but I think this is where the fact that he's one of those what I call, and he was through COVID too, but I call him professional student athletes, where he had a 6-7 year collegiate career before joining the NFL. So he kind of comes in as he's technically a rookie, but I'd say he's probably an intermediate. He's a level above a rookie.
Year 2.
Right, year 2. Right. But I'm saying coming into the NFL, I think he's a lot more prepared than what the average rookie would be. That's not
he's like 30 years old.
Superstar. I'm sorry, how old you say?
Yeah, he like 30 years old, so he is a lot more prepared.
That means he's off to play for the Indiana Hoosiers.
Right. but what it also is that he's competent enough to do exactly what he's doing, which is steering the ship. Denver, their identity is they want to run the ball, they want to pound the ball at you, ball control, and rely on that defense to win. And I honestly, it may be lower scoring, but this is where the Josh Allen Superman run ends Saturday.
So do you? We didn't have time to get to this in the coaching in the first segment. Sean McDermott, hot seat.
I think he's not in the hot seat after this year simply because they're making a run and they had some pretty big injuries that happened throughout the year. They lost a couple of big
That's gonna
pieces
save
and
your
they
job. Ask
pardon?
Harbaugh.
Agreed. So but then also don't know. I get you got Bills Mafia, but I wouldn't say that they're as cutthroat as we would say Philadelphia fans are when it comes to uh, wanting to see somebody gone because they're not winning championships year after year.
Tate, the Bills. Your brother just said that this is it for the Bills. You think you agree with him? Denver Broncos moving on?
We gonna pick. You got the spread?
Yeah, the spread for this game is the closest spread of the weekend. They are 1.5 point faves. They're talking about the Denver Broncos at home. The total is gonna be 43.5. Or you just moved again. Yeah, 43.5. So you agree with your brother?
He said the Bills come to an end, right?
He said the Bills are done. Finito.
I definitely
45.5.
disagree. Man, Josh Allen is that dude, man. Josh Allen, I mean, Jacksonville just whipped Denver a few weeks ago. He went down to Jacksonville, got them in a close game with no weapons. He gonna go, and Denver defense better, but I think Jacksonville got a better offense. He gonna go to Denver and do the same thing, in my opinion. I got the Bills winning the game 23-17.
Denver is a lot different environment to play in than
I agree. And let I know they got altitude in Denver. If they don't got kryptonite, though, they in trouble.
This one's a tough game to call for me. I do want to lean on the Josh Allen being the best player in this game. I do want to lean on him having all this playoff experience. And if he don't win, there's going to be some talk about his I guess his legacy and Sean McDermott's job. And on the flip side, Denver's defense, that gets all the talk, but their defense ain't been all that hot the last month or so. So I think there's a lane for Buffalo to win this job. I'm sorry, not job, but win this game. I'm gonna go with Tate, man. I got Buffalo winning outright. So 2 Buffalo, 1 Denver. Let's go to the second Saturday game. We got the battle for the NFC West. It's really just NFC West and Chicago on the NFC side of this. The San Francisco 49ers are flying north to see those Seattle Seahawks, who are a 7-point home fave. Total is 45.5. Tate, what you think about this one? And that is a tech.
Yeah, maybe we should switch Fine to Tech and leave Diddy alone.
No Diddy.
Not even Diddy is fine. Yeah, man, my bad. But nah, man. Seattle went down to the Bay Area 2 weeks ago and straight BTA the 49ers. I mean, big time bad, right? But I think this game is different. I mean, even if I was gonna pick Seattle to win, I don't think they win by 7 points. I think San Francisco is just going and they got injuries too, right? Kittle's hurt. Is Fred Warner coming back?
No, he's not.
He's not.
No, he hasn't been activated. No.
Okay. Well, yeah, man. I like the 49ers for 7. I'd pick Seattle to win. I'm rooting for the 49ers, but I can't say that Seattle will win by 7. I got Seattle winning this game. I'm gonna stick with the 24 as a winner. 24-20. Seattle wins.
I agree. The Seattle Seahawks, the way they just dominated San Francisco the last game, I can't. There's no way for me to believe that San Francisco figured out enough to go ahead and flip that game, at least for a win. Now, 7 points, that is a different part of that story. The Darnold injury, he popped up with an oblique injury. That is something you need to watch. And his career as a playoff performer is something else that bears watching as well. But I have too much confidence in one, the Seattle Seahawks defense, and two, the ability of JSN to just get open. If nothing else, let's say Darnold is a liability. I still got a lot of faith in their run game. Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet and the other cat. San Francisco can't stop a nosebleed on a crackhead. So they're going to be able to run the
What
ball.
is that analogy about?
It's going to be
Is that a Chicago thing? I live a nosebleed on a crackhead.
Listen, man.
He's trying to get his Tomlinisms in.
I shouldn't have said crack. I should have said heroin. But anyway, if basically, I don't think there's an opportunity for the defense of Robert Saleh to do anything to stop Seattle from advancing, regardless of what kind of Sam Darnold they get. I'll take Seattle to go ahead and I'll take them to cover the 7. Screw it. What about you, Damien? You gonna make it a clean sweep, or you like those Frisco Niner boys?
Well, as I said last week when I incorrectly picked the Philadelphia Eagles, I believe in Brock Purdy. I think whatever it is, Brock Purdy has got it as far as seeing the field, reading the field, not being afraid to deliver the ball. But having said that, there's just too many injuries to San Francisco. They look good against us, but we have been mediocre and teetering disaster all season long. So I don't think anybody's surprised they did that to us. I think with losing George Kittle, it might just be too much for them offensively because Seattle, there's no one else for their defense to key on except for Christian McCaffrey. And the last time I remember, I think Seattle's got a top 5 defense also, don't they? Everything is just so much set up for Seattle to win this game. I look for them to cover because not even Sam Darnold could blow this for Seattle.
Oh, he can. If anybody capable, he can.
I think that's a clean sweep for us taking Seattle, right? All right, 7 point, the largest
spread. No. I have 24-20. I got San Francisco.
Okay, all right.
Seattle winning.
Got you. Let's move to Sunday. This is a sidebar. If Denver Patriots and the Bears win, we're going to be talking about how good that quarterback class is historically. But Houston Texans are going up to Foxborough to play the New England Patriots. They are a 3-point favorite. The Patriots are. The lowest total of the weekend, 40.5. Battle of defenses. I'll kick this one off. Nico Collins has been ruled out. He suffered that concussion in that wild card game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. CJ Stroud, he looked kind of rough out there, but you know what? With all that being said, I'm not watching this game for offense from the Houston Texans. That defense is something to be feared. The way that defense has been hot. I think the Texans started the season 3-6 or 3-5, something like that.
They started 0-3.
Yeah, I do remember that. They started 0-3, and I don't think they basically what I'm saying, they haven't lost a game in a long time. And it's been on the back of that defense.
Yeah.
That's facts. It's been on the back of that defense. I'm going to continue riding that hot hand. It ain't just what they did to the Pittsburgh Steelers, which I appreciate it. If that's the last pass of Aaron Rodgers' career, it's music. That was art. It ain't just what they did to him. They've been doing it to everybody they've seen. I'm going to go ahead and take the Texans to win this game outright. Do I like I actually like the under too. I like this game to be like a 17-14 type, 2017 type game. Damien, how do you feel?
They say one caveat about that. I just was watching the weather earlier, and they say the majority of the precipitation and snowfall that's supposed to be coming down over this weekend in the Northeast is going to be coming between 2 and 4 on Sunday. So that's just the caveat for that one. Having said that, both teams have great defenses. Defense travels. I've got I had May on fantasy football, so I particularly was watching him close this year. And I think Lane, not Lane Kiffin. Why am I thinking about him? Um, and I'm doing this in front of people. The offensive coordinator, Mike,
For who?
for New England. Oh,
The dude McDaniel.
yeah, Josh McDaniels. That's who. I really think Drake May. It's been night and day. He's kind of looked like Caleb Williams from his rookie year to his sophomore year, and I think Josh McDaniel plays a big part of that. The offense is a lot different than what you would normally see a Mike Vrabel coach football team be running, and it is showed because he's one of the leading candidates for MVP this year. Um, so having said that, Houston, they are an indoor team. They're a southern team. They're coming up. They're going to be hit. They're going to get hit with the cold, the heart of the storm going into Gillette Stadium. Um, I think New England. I think New England pulls out a close, low scoring one. Rooting for the Texans, but if I was betting money and I had to pick it, I'd have to say I got to go with New England.
Fine for somebody else. Magnificent.
I'll take that's on me. You'll break that tie. I shouldn't even have to talk there. You knew it was up for you to make your pick.
I know, but you know me. I always got to ask the spread again, though. I don't remember it from when you said
it. Yeah. Your brother was bloviating, so it's okay to forget it. Yeah, the spread is 3. Total 40.5.
I like the under. I mean, I watched the Patriots last week. What they scored 16 was it like 16-6 against the Chargers last week, something like that. It was a low scoring game. Mm-hmm. Drake May's been playing great. What they showed me last week against the Chargers defense, though, is they can be slowed down. I mean, he threw 1 touchdown to Hunter Henry, and they kicked 3 field goals. That Houston defense can hold them to less than that, which is why I like the under. And I think the game is going to be somewhere around. I like the 20-17. But I'm going to go with Houston. I think the defense scores another touchdown this week again. Drake May had an MVP type season, even though I think Stafford gets it. I saw Drake May turn the ball over 5 times against Pittsburgh earlier this year. And yeah, I mean, so if Houston's a dome team, but defense travels in whatever the climate is, and they got one. So yeah, I'm going to pick the Texans to win outright. I got them winning 20-16. I think the Patriots score a touchdown and 3 field goals again.
Nice. All right, man. It's Sunday night, the premier game of the weekend. Got those LA Rams traveling into weather to see the Chicago Bears. The spread has stayed consistent. Actually, it went up a little. No, it's still 4.5 for the Sunday night. Well, I guess Sunday afternoon game. Total, the highest total of the weekend, 48.5. Tate, kick us off. Where do you see this game going?
This I think is why they got it in prime time. They had to play on Sunday. They could have flipped the games around if they thought Houston and the Patriots was going to be a better game. Aesthetically pleasing, right? Because you watching that primetime football, you want to see points put up on the board. Defensive struggle is going to be the first game, but I think in this game, man, you said 48 is the over?
48.5, yeah.
Oh, it's over.
48.5. Yeah.
This is a shootout. I really believe in Caleb Williams. With new information, y'all know the homie Big G. He done took back his Caleb Williams been trashed for a year and a half now. Because he never was. And I'm going to have to when we get together again on the know-it-alls on Sunday, I gotta say something about that. that with new information. I mean, that's still just flipping all the time, right? I mean, I don't know. Caleb Williams is like that. And we haven't seen Jaden Daniels in a minute, Daniels, because he's hurt. I mean, but this quarterback class is looking great. I mean, the only one to prove himself is JJ McCarthy. Back to the game, though. Stafford going to get his against the Bears defense. Caleb Williams, I think they come out and start as fast as they've been playing in the second halves against Green Bay. And they played against San Francisco a few weeks ago. They put a lot of points up on the board. I anticipate a lot of points. And, I just think it's good for the NFL when Chicago is good. You know what I mean? Every time, I'm never sure about Chicago, but I'm going to pick them this week because I think they can win. I think the elements bother the Rams more than they do Houston going to the Patriots because they're an LA team. They're inside. Stafford's a little older. And their defense is not as good as Houston's defense. So yeah, I'm gonna take the Bears to get the run game going. You're gonna see DeAndre Swift be the best player offensively in the game, but you're gonna see a couple big plays from Rome Odunze. I'm gonna say the Bears win this game 30-24.
Bear down, Tate. Damian.
Bear down.
What you thinking about this game? It's the last game of the weekend. The Rams at one point of the season, everybody's favorite Super Bowl pick. They making it out of this weekend alive?
Before I give my opinion on that, let me first say something about this being a great quarterback class. Yes, it is. JJ McCarthy, to quote Big G, it's gonna be hot garbage. I also had Sean Jefferson. I also had Justin Jefferson on my fantasy team. When JJ McCarthy was hurt and wasn't playing, I was number one in our league. When JJ McCarthy came back and started the rest of the year, Jefferson had just gutter numbers. And that's all because of McCarthy. Now, I don't think he's going to end up being as elite as what we've seen from Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Drake May. So, but now back to the Bears Rams game.
Yeah, because you was 9-1 at one point and finished 9-6 and didn't make the playoffs.
Thank you, man. I was wondering what those numbers were. Can always count on you, can't I? But back to the Bears game. You said the spread. The over under is 48.
48.5.
I tend to disagree with Big Brother. I think it's going to be under the 48. For the simple fact is, once again, like I was saying about the Patriots Houston game, the weather report for Soldier Field that day is with 24 degrees. Winds are going to be 24 to like 28 miles an hour, having a wind chill factor being in single digits. I don't see the elements being conducive to putting up a lot of points, even with two defenses that are not elite. Because let's remember the Rams D. We won't call them top 3, top 5 elite, but the Rams have had solid D and have played good D all season long. The Bears, they've got injuries, so I kind of give them a pass on their lack of defense to this point in the season. But then having said that, once again, I like the home team in this. I really don't see it being as high scoring as Kevin might think. So I don't know. Maybe you're going to be looking at something like 21-19, something like that. But it's definitely going to be under the 48 points.
Bear down, Damian. Yeah. So I don't think it's a surprise where I'm leaning in this game, but I got some stats I want to throw out there for everybody. If you didn't watch the preview on First Rate Chicago for this game, or you didn't watch Pay Dirt, here's some of those numbers for you. In Matt Stafford's career at Soldier Field, he's played 12 games in those games. He has a touchdown to interception ratio of 16-15. not very good. In his career, in games in which the temperature or the weather played a factor, you have the fact that he's never played a game at 30 degrees, below 30 degrees, and his touchdown ratio in those games in which is under 40 degrees is 3-5, 3 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. In his career in which he's played a game 40 degrees or lower, his record is 1-9. 1-9. Chicago on Sunday at kickoff, the temperature is going to be at 13 degrees. You add in the wind chill that could get up to about 20 miles per hour, is going to get around 3 degrees. Those LA boys do not want to see that coming. At the last time you saw this team play in inclement weather, let's go back to last year during the I think it was the divisional round against the Philadelphia Eagles. You remember that game, don't you, Damien?
Oh yeah, I remember well.
It was snowing that game. It snowed 3 times so far this week in Chicago. It might snow again on Sunday. That doesn't spell what do you call it? A good setting for the LA Rams and their high flying passing offense that they have. Now, I will agree with the homie Mod in the chat. Said defense travels, and LA has a better defense. LA has a better front 7. That is correct. They can get pressure with just 4. They're one of the league leaders in pressure rate, and they're also one of the lowest in the league as far as sending out a blitz. They can do it with just 4 guys. Verse, Young, and a Kobe, and the rest of those guys. They handle their business. But Chicago has one of the best offensive lines in the league, so it's going to be strength on strength in that regard. I'm going to go with the Bears, though. The home team, they've proven more times than not this season that not only can they win on their home field, they're 7-2 at home, but they can win in the elements. They did it against Cleveland. I know Cleveland's a bum team, but they went out there and beat and took the life out of Cleveland in similar weather. They did it 2 times against Green Bay in similar weather. They're already built for this. LA, they got to prove it to me. I like the Bears winning outright, 24-16. More sending the Bears right to the championship week. We like that. Bear down.
What's the cheese got to do with them beating the Rams?
Nothing. I just like to rub
You
it in the Packers' face.
You just missed that last week.
Yeah, you're right. I bought a big brick of cheese just to troll Packer fans. So I got to get rid of it.
So what's your over under? What's the score?
24-16.
So you got the under 2.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. No, man. Well,
oh yeah, and shout out to Tim Lyons in the chat. I forgot to mention Matt Stafford is running around with a sprained index finger. Could be difficult to throw the ball in that wind with the bad pointer.
I meant to ask about the Houston Texans. Is Nico Collins playing?
Out.
No, he's out.
Ooh. So defense really got to step up. Not that they was going to score a lot anyway. It's going to be defensive struggle. But last game, bonus game, national championship. You got the line on that, Pay? I think last I saw Indiana by 7.5.
Last I looked was 8.5. Give me a second. I'm gonna check this out for you. And it is still 8.5. No, wait. Yeah, it's 8.5 still. 8.5 in favor of Indiana. I'll start first. I like Miami. I like Miami to cover that. I think that spread is a little bit too big for a championship game. I think I want people to not look so much at the seeding for Miami and just remember their season as a whole. They were one of the best teams in the nation before they had a slip up in conference play. And I don't take that away from them as a unit. They're a complete team. I'm not saying that they're the best team in the nation, like I think Indiana is, but I think 8.5 is a bit rich, especially for a championship game. That's where I'm laying that one on Monday.
I'll go next. Yeah, man, we kind of loosely brought up earlier. We talked about Bo Nix in Indiana having a lot of players Bo Nix age. The Hurricanes' best player on offense is wide receiver Malachi Tony. He's 18. The Indiana, their recipe, like teams have their recipe, right? You hit the transfer portal now. So there's so many different recipes now. You can pay players big bread to come. You can go get really experienced players out of JUCO, give them a little bit of bread and play. They don't have the name. It's more like college basketball now. You got a lot of upperclassmen this day. You can compete in the tournament. Football has transitioned to a tournament. You get a lot of upperclassmen in there. You can compete. So Indiana has a team full of upperclassmen. They probably average age is probably 20 or 21 for a college team, average age. So with that being said, and they done skull drug everybody, Alabama, Oregon, and if Miami makes the mistakes they made against Ole Miss, they gave up like 32, 34 points to. I don't remember the score, but they gave up a lot of points. I got Indiana covering this game, man. I got Indiana getting the run game going. Mendoza is playing at home too. The Hurricanes playing at home, but Mendoza playing at the crib too, like literally down the street from the crib. He don't come put on the show at the crib. Indiana's superior. That's why they're number one team. They're going to be the last undefeated national champion in the current setup of college football. They go 16-0, win national championship. I got the Hoosiers winning the game 31-17.
They calling this the Cuban Super Bowl down in Miami. Damon,
hey, I'll say it in my parting shot.
What you got for this one, Game?
Indiana has shown all year long that they are they're the best team. They've beaten 3 top 5 teams and then demolished technically number 9 ranked team in the country. Mendoza, I think he's the truth. That was the difference when they played us and beat us in the Big Ten championship. It showed up again against Oregon. He makes the timely plays. He makes the big throws, and he's not making a mistake. He's showing the poise of upperclassman Heisman Trophy winner. But he's going against that defensive line in Miami, so with Bain and Malachi's the receiver, number 3. Name slipped my mind. Those two wreck shop, and I think they can cause a lot of trouble for Mendoza. Miami, they're to be respected. They're one of the elite teams. Like you said, take the rankings out. You know, clearly all year long from start to finish. Miami has played elite level as if they were a top 5 team all year long. And let's not forget the strength of Miami's offense. Their best athlete is the wide receiver Malachi, but the strength of their offense are the center and 2 guards. Those boys are massive, and they moved the ball against what was supposed to be the best defense in the nation against Ohio State. And they ran it right up our throat in that fourth quarter. They controlled the clock. They did the same thing when they faced Texas A&M. They ran off big chunks against Ole Miss. So I think Miami will be able to ball control. I believe Indiana's going to win, but I'm with you, Payday. 8.5 points. That's kind of disrespectful for a championship game. And so I don't see Indiana covering, but I see Indiana winning.
Yeah, that's the same way I look at it. I still think Indiana's the best team in the nation, but I'm done counting Miami out. I think it's going to be a good game. What's your parting shot there, Tate?
I was just gonna say, man, as far as this game goes, I hope the best team shows up for both teams. But what'd you say they calling the game down there?
The Cuban Super Bowl.
So Indiana been skull drugging people, skull drug Alabama, Oregon. They the baddest team, I believe, in college football. But if it's the Cuban Super Bowl, I hope the baddest team don't show up. And Petty Tate gonna say, who's the baddest team? Them Ice Boys. Hope they don't show up.
But I think we all want to see Michael Irvin take his belt off one more time, though, don't we? I think we all want to see that. Just
hey, man, I'm gonna say this because Damian know him. I don't really care who wins. I don't want Miami to win just because of Cecil Benton.
That's funny. Oh, I mean, we got a little bit of time. Yes or no? Do you all think any of these head coaching vacancies in the NFL are waiting for this game on Monday to end so they can holler at Cignetti?
I think Cignetti, he's gonna stay in Indiana. I don't think they just gave him a nice healthy extension. He's gone somewhere and built something great. And I don't think he's like how Lane Kiffin did, where he's trying to move on to the bigger, better job. I think he kind of appreciates where Indiana started, where he's got them, and where he can keep them as far as like a legacy that could stand the test of time goes.
Not so fast, my friend. In honor of the great Lee Corso, is one team Cignetti might consider. That's his hometown team, the Pittsburgh Steelers. If they give him a call, he's a Pittsburgh guy. He's a Yinzer through and through. I believe he started his college coaching career in Pittsburgh. He's on the older side, which is the direction Pittsburgh doesn't go. But an opportunity for a kid that grew up during the Steel Curtain era. I mean, grew up. He saw that. He witnessed that, right? I mean, and to be able to come back and take Indiana to glory, college football playoffs last year, but the national championship this year, and now go back home and lead the Steelers for another till he retire 4 or 5 years and try and bring them back to glory. I think that's one challenge that could make him leave college. Not saying that I think it's a thing, but if there's one NFL job he considers, it's that one.
That would shock me in a lot of ways, because exactly what you said, Tate. Pittsburgh usually hires 30-year-olds to be their coach. Yeah. And Cignetti's 60, so
but
it wouldn't be a bad opportunity though.
We say usually. What's the sample size though? Of that usually, it's 3 times in 57 years. I mean, so usually is like Haley's Comet, damn near.
That's a good analogy. All right, but I hope we get some good football.
Does that mean Haley's coming back? Like Haley's Comet comes back around? Does that mean Todd Haley's coming back? That was a joke.
Hell no! If I had Big G sign,
that would be fun. That's wrong, Damon. That's wrong. But I hope we do get some good football this weekend, fellas. What we got coming up for know-it-alls?
This week we talk about we should be waiting on the last team, the Bears and the Rams, to see who's going to advance to the conference championships. That last game will probably be on as we're doing the show. It won't be off because it starts late, but it'll be on, and we'll know 3 of the participants in championship weekend next week. Waiting on the 4th. Hopefully, if it's halftime around the end, the Bears are up by 18 points. They were down by 18 points last week. Go ahead and make it easy on yourself. Get up Chicago, and that's what we'll be waiting on. We'll talk about that. I want to talk about, to Big G and Mod, the NBA All-Star game is coming up, and we're doing the world versus the NBA, the United States NBA All-Stars. See their thoughts on that, who they think is going to win, and just whatever comes up for probably like a quick 45 minutes, an hour show on Sunday. We do have a show coming up next week. We're doing me and Mod, something different, trying to get a little more different content out there. We're going to talk about TV shows and why we think these guys have the best shows on TV. That's Taylor Sheridan, Curtis 50 Cent Jackson. Talk about some of their shows, give you guys some TV watching tips. Matter of fact, I'm going to go watch the rest of this Cleveland Cavalier basketball game and watch the final episode of Force with Tommy. It's on tonight. I'm going to check that out. So that's what the rest of my nights look like. Cavs basketball game, Force, and barbershop in the morning.
It's a loaded weekend for you, Tate. Everybody have a great, safe Friday night. Enjoy this football season. Make sure you check out Know It Alls and everybody else around the Know It Alls universe. A First Rate Chicago sports fan channel that's running through the jungle, and whatever it is Dame is doing, just pop it in where everybody else. Dame is just he's a rental bullpen arm. That's what he is. You can see him wherever he's needed.
Thanks for the compliment.
Everybody have a great show. Thanks for checking out. Peace.
Peace.
Mamba out.
Y'all come back now. Here